Just find private drivers. They pay like $35, $40 an hour. That way you can actually talk to your clients and stuff. You can do stuff.
You're in the car too?
Yeah, I'm in the car with them.
Oh, like $1 million listing. That's cool.
I guess.
You ain't see $1 million listing? They like, come on.
But
welcome to the Book the Vizzy podcast. We are here with Darnell Aponte of the Aponte Group. And Mommy YP, I want to let you drop your own accolades. I tried to look up all your like awards and things you've done and stuff like that. But it's all different places. It's all different places. So please tell us like where you've been, what you've been through, like, you know, what you got?
I mean, it sounds funny for me to say them, you know.
I know. That's why, like, you know, like that's good though. That's character speaking of you. Like, you know, you want to talk about yourself.
I don't know. I mean, I have a few.
Okay.
So the one I was awarded yesterday was #1 group in my office.
The Aponte Group.
Yes.
Okay.
Last year we were the #1 team. So a group is 3 or more people.
Yeah.
A team is 2 people. Okay. And the 3 years before that, I was the #1 individual agent.
You know, I just learned that.
What?
The group is 2, the team is 3. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah,
you blew my mind.
Team is 2, group is 3 or more.
Good to know.
So I got that yesterday. Sasha on my team got the #1 team member out of all the offices between teams and groups, you know.
I can see that. She does a lot.
So that was cool. She did 23 transactions last year.
Yeah.
Almost 10 million in volume. So
I can see that.
She had a good year.
Yeah.
This year would be better for sure.
Yeah.
You know, was last week the inauguration? A week before that?
I want to say, let's say a week before that.
You know, I got YPN Advocate of the Year. You got YPN Influencer.
Influencer of the Year. That felt good. Like, you know, for us to, I wish it was there so we could like do a trophy toast. That's what I wanted.
Those are cool.
Yeah.
Those awards were that one was very heavy.
That was nice.
2021, I got YPN Member of the Year, I believe.
That's good.
Honestly, I have they're just awards. They don't really mean anything.
They're that.
Cool. They make you feel good in the moment, but like it's really what we do for our clients.
Yeah, it's interesting though to like just hear the list. You know, like just like that's consistent because it sounds like from 20. What was your earliest one? Like when would you say you got your first award?
You know, I don't know. Maybe my second year in real estate. Second year in real estate, I was like #3 or #4 in my office as individual agent. I'm like, all right, like this is I don't even feel like I'm doing anything, you know, like, but other people like my coaches and stuff like, yeah, you're doing it. Like you have you don't even put in a lot of effort. Like one of my coaches, Amanda's like, if you have more talent in your pinky, then and that's like I forget exactly what she says, but she like you only use as much talent as you have in your pinky. Like if you actually were more intentional and you did stuff, like you'd be amazed.
Right.
So I just like wake up and go, honestly. Like
I get that.
That's always been my thing.
I get that. I remember you telling me that when you first started real estate, you kind of finessed your way into an office and just built it out. Like you're like, this is happening, this is going.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell me about that.
I did that more than once. So I started in Keller Williams, Miami Beach.
Yeah.
I didn't have a single deal yet, but I'm like, hey, I know I need an office. So I'm like, hey, I need an office. There's only one left.
Yeah.
Miami Beach rent is super expensive. I'm like, hey, I need this office. Like, I'm gonna need an office. I'm gonna do big stuff, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, hey, yeah, we can give you this office, and you have to pay rent, but like, just know if there's like a team or a capper someone that like meets a certain sales requirement, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
If they need an office, like, you got to get out of here. I'm like, say no more. Let's do it. You're not kicking me out of this office.
Right. Okay.
I bought like a big fancy glass, like $1,000 desk, like a $700 white chair, you know, because it's Miami Beach. Yeah. Literally not a single deal, not a single person I've spoken to yet. And then I kind of did something similar when I moved to the plantation office, where I'm like, I need an office. Yeah. And I just took a big office.
This is different management. They don't even know each other.
They don't know each other. I'm like, I'm going to need an office. Like, I'm going to grow a team.
Yeah.
You know, the first time I tried to grow a team.
Yeah.
And so I just always believe in myself. Like, I'm going to get it done.
How long? Like, is this year 2 or how far between?
This is year 2 at this point, because I was driving to Broward every day because I lived in Brickell.
Okay, so you gave it a full year, then you shift gears. All right, year 2. Here's where we are.
I'm always in Broward. I'm like, maybe I should actually live here. You know?
Yeah.
All my business is up here. I should probably move back because that hour 20-minute drive twice a day was not a good lifestyle to have.
I get that. I did something similar. When I started, I lived in it's not that far, but I lived in East Miramar. My office was in Davies. So it would take me like 30 minutes to get there every time. But what I do is like the way I'll kind of force growth is I'll give everything a year, and each year my rule is I have to be in a better place than the year before. And if I'm not, let's shift. Let's do something better. So it seems like that's kind of what you're doing. Like every year, are you trying to?
Honestly, it's just whenever I feel like it, you know, like I don't have like a time. Like I literally just moved offices a week and a half ago.
Again,
You know, I'm in the Weston office now.
how frequently do you think you move offices?
I still stay Keller Williams.
But they just got so many.
No, yeah, we do have so many, but no, this is only the second time I've moved offices.
Okay.
I started in Miami Beach, so
Yeah.
I started there, so I didn't move.
Yeah.
I moved to Plantation. I was in Plantation for over 5 years.
Yeah.
And now I'm in Weston.
All right. So one thing I wanted to know is where were you before you got to real estate? Like, were you the same Darnell? I feel like I was a different person before I got into real estate. Were you different? Before?
Different in which way?
Like just okay. This is me before. This is who I am before real estate. I was just, I'm going to my friend's house. We gonna play Call of Duty. We just chilling, and then it's like, all right, let's do something. Where the ladies at? Let's call a party line. Like not a care in the world. We had little jobs at like the grocery store, but just to buy shoes and stuff.
Nah, I've always been self-employed pretty much for the most part. Any real job I've had, by real job I mean like an hourly job. I only lasted a couple weeks there. I'm like, I can't do this. Can't work for somebody else.
Yeah.
It's not happening. So I've always done my own thing. So like before real estate for 3 years, 3 years, I was like almost semi-retired. I didn't do anything. I just lived off of savings. I was just tired of working because I've always worked a lot. Before that, I owned a call center with 2 locations, one in Fort Lauderdale, one in Tempe, Arizona.
Really?
Yeah.
How old were you at this time?
Mid-20s.
That's big. Okay.
Yeah, we had a multi-million-dollar organization. Started in the garage with my friends and family, like I have this big idea. I don't have any money to pay you guys right now, but let's do this. And I got a couple people to agree to work with me for months, unpaid, until we grew it to a massive organization.
That's cool.
With multiple offices. And then it went so well that my family opened up like branches and they had their own offices as well. So like pretty much like supported 80% of my family with their own offices and stuff because we started together. I started in my sister's garage,
and this is before you even got to. So, what made you stop that and like pivot to the next? Have you
heard of the TCPA, Telephone Consumer Privacy Act?
Yeah. Oh.
So I was in the call center world when those things were rolled out, and so it changed the way how we can contact people and how we can collect data on the internet. Now, when you do data and do anything on the internet, like you have to explicitly opt in and say, I agree to be contacted by this organization.
Yeah.
When I owned my call centers, that wasn't a thing, so it was like the wild, wild west.
I get it.
So like you can just you can sign up for one thing and you can get called for a completely different product because the laws weren't in place for that back then.
I get it.
So it changed how much data cost. Literally, I remember that October it went into place. Data overnight quadrupled in price because now there's a lot less of it available.
Yeah.
And the ones that are available are now higher quality. They're opted in, so they cost more. So it just changed the structure of the business. Like it just
Okay, so it was now, like, let's do something else.
Yeah, no, it took months to get out of it because now you had to partner with the data people and stuff, and like they got a bigger split, but now you didn't have upfront data costs, but like you had acquisition costs. So like it was different. It was a win-win, but it just completely changed the structure. I did that for like 5 or 6 years. We got out. I worked like 6 days a week, 7 days a week. I managed a dialer, went to all the conventions and met people. Before that, I had an auto transport company.
I saw that. I saw that on your LinkedIn.
Nice.
Yeah.
So I had an auto transport company for a few years. I worked for a company for a few months and I became their top salesperson very quickly. And I ended up retraining the person that trained me. And people would always try to figure out like, how's this guy hang out and BS all day, but like he's still the #1 sales agent.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've always had the skill of being able to tell immediately if someone is going to transact with me or not. I've always known how to like ask questions, like ask the right question. So my focus was only on speaking to the right people, not just dialing all day. So I just was great at identifying those people. So like I'd be the employee that's in their coworker's cubicle BSing all day, but like the bosses couldn't really say anything to me because I'm making them the most money.
Right. So this is like you're on the phone. You're doing these calls too.
On the phone. Yeah. No,
okay.
Anything I've ever done, I've always been on the phone first.
So even in real estate, you're on the phone, or like I guess
on the
was
phone,
there a
not so
phrase
much.
of it?
No, I'm not a phone person in real estate now. I'm an in person. Open houses are
Yeah.
our jam.
Yeah. We get into that. Yeah.
Open houses are great. And then before that, I got into auto transport because I was a mortgage broker 2005 to 2008.
I was gonna ask you. Yeah.
So
Okay.
I got into car transport around 2008, because the mortgage just literally disappeared. So I got like a job somewhere. I'm like, hey, I can do this myself. Like, I'm making my bosses this much money. And I
Yeah.
realized it was only a couple $1,000s to open up an auto transport company because you're just a broker.
Mm-hmm.
So literally, I've never made it a year at any job that I've ever had. Like, I've always just went out and did my own thing.
The jobs would be like the mortgage brokers. That was a job at first until you opened your.
Technically, I still consider myself self-employed. It's like a realtor.
Yeah.
Even though our license is under someone else, like you
Right.
only eat what you kill.
Yeah.
So it's not like I get paid to show up. I only get paid when there's closings.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a job per se, but I still did.
You
my
had to
own
show up
thing.
and
I
do
wasn't
stuff.
getting paid. By job, my definition of a job is someplace that pays me regardless if I produce or not. I'm getting paid an hourly
That was my motto.
rate for a specific task.
Yeah.
Not the results, just a task.
Yeah, that was my motto. So I worked at a grocery store. I worked at Publix when I was like 16, So I'm you can't tell me, I'm a teenager and I got a job. So my motto was, they pay me for the hour, not what I do, So I'm chilling. Like, this is why I have this mindset. Like, my worst habits came from the work environment, my work friends. That's where it came from. Just my work friends were like, let's just hang out. Let's just go chill in the freezer. Like, on a hot day, we go chill in the freezer. Don't judge me. So from that, like, when I interned, got fired for, getting too chill with the work friends. Now I'm chilling with my real friends, and now we're back in like grind mode. So this is when we start getting into, all right, let's build businesses. Let's start this. We got to figure it out. My first hustle, I would say, while I'm working at Publix, I would take my checks and I would go on eBay and buy like little body jewelry, like, tongue rings, little crap like that. And I would resell it in the store.
That's cool.
So do you remember what your first hustle was?
I had a lot, man. I've always hustled something. Even in middle school, I would make my sister take me to Sam's Club. So I can buy like the big boxes of candy and resell it in school. So I was always getting in trouble for that in middle school and high school. Like, I always had a backpack full of candies. I didn't like the chocolates because those things melted, but I would get like the hard candies and stuff.
Yeah,
like Warheads.
You gotta surround them in Capri Suns.
Yeah, I don't want to do all that.
I got a referral for that. I had 2 backpacks: the snack pack and then the regular backpack.
That's too much. I just had it on one.
How did you stop? What stopped you from selling candy?
Getting in trouble, But even when there was like the fundraisers and stuff, like I would go door to door as a kid, just knocking on doors, getting people to sell.
Okay, so you were always, I get that.
Even from elementary school, I just love selling stuff.
That's fair.
I've always been a salesperson my entire life.
Were you
I've never
raised like that?
Not at all.
Okay.
Not at all. I just got great joy out of it. I even remember I was definitely under 10 years old.
Yeah.
That's when I moved out of the house, and like I knew my sister's friends were coming over to watch a boxing match and stuff. So like I went to Publix that day with my sister and I bought like canned stuff and like I made treats and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, these are for sale.
Yeah.
For free.
That's cool. I had a little Tang stand. Did you ever do the stand thing? That's when I realized Tang was good. That was also my first time tasting Tang.
Wasn't that cool? No, I've always sold stuff, man. I was in sales. My first real business, I was 17.
Yeah.
And I got a corporation started somehow. I went and like I paid $500 for an attorney to do that. That's the first and only time I ever paid an attorney for that. I'm like, I don't need a corporate sale and all this crap.
Yeah.
Like kind of took advantage of me.
Mm-hmm.
But my business then was it was starting to get popular. It wasn't big yet. You know how they had the eBay stores where like you'd bring your stuff in and they would sell it for you and they get a percentage for selling it.
Yeah.
So I would go door to door, but I would go to businesses. So I would do business stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I started by mistake because my brother-in-law's company, someone he worked for had a bunch of like electronics and like high-end tools that they weren't using. So I'm like, can I sell these?
Yeah.
So like I would sell stuff for like thousands of dollars at 18 years old now, and I would just get a huge cut of it. Things that were people are going to eventually trash. I'm like, hey, why don't I just make a business and go door to door? So I'd go to like office towers until they kicked me out and see if they had stuff to sell. Like I would sell like printers and things like that. So So like I'd have to pick them up, bring them home, and like get them checks for that. So I would list it, take photos, do all that stuff. Eventually, like in 40-Year-Old Virgin, like there was that store, and like there was like
we sell your stuff on eBay store.
Yeah, so that became a thing.
Yeah.
And like I've always duplicated other businesses. Like I literally went, I had one of these stores sell something for me just so I could see their process and see how they worked and get a copy of the contract. You know, I'm like, all right, duplicating this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So pretty much every business I've done, like you
just figure it out.
You don't have to be an originator.
No, okay, I get that.
You don't have to do that. Like, there's someone else that's already done it that's successful. You can just do it your own way.
Yeah, the biggest takeaway for this from me is that you'll go after an idea, but not just go after it. You'll also find the biggest scale way to do it. Like, it has to be worth your time. It seems
For sure.
like you're very selective on what's worth doing and what's not.
For sure. Real estate's the first thing I did that I'm like, I want to make a lot of money, but this time I don't want employees. I was tired of having employees.
Yeah, it sucks. Yeah.
You know, and here I am building a team again, you know, like it's
inevitable. Yeah. Honestly, my first year building a team, like my first couple of years of like trying to it was very difficult trying to figure it out that everybody like learns differently. I imagine you had a phase of overwhelm to make you say, you know what, I'm going to like be more selective in what I do. Have you ever had that phase of like, this is too much, I need to narrow down?
Nah, usually not. I thrive in chaos and when too much.
So this is just from the beginning, you've just always been selective on what you...
My coach last week told me that she thinks I'm bored right now because she's like, everything's going too good.
Yeah.
You know, you thrive in chaos. Like, that's why you're like relaxed and not doing anything right now because there's really no big problems or anything to figure out because like my real estate business is dialed in, you know? So like now I'm like, all right, I need some chaos. Let's hire 2 or 3 agents at the same time.
I mean, that's important though. That's really how I do it. Whenever I have a phase of stability or significant drought, that's my time to kind of kick things up a notch. Like, all right, let's do something higher. So, all right, deals are steady. I got some money. What can we do bigger? So I think you're doing the right thing.
I just need to constantly be figuring out solutions to problems.
Yeah.
That's where I do best. That's really our job.
It is. We're
not here to open doors. We're here to figure out solutions
to
everyone's problems. The appraiser,
the
lender, the buyer, you name it, title company. Like we're here to make sure everyone works together and we communicate with everyone.
I had that realization that really, because I had to really have a sit down with myself, like, okay, where do I genuinely feel the most passion? Here in the studio, where I'm like surrounded by celebrities and it's a good time and, you know, I'm important, or in real estate where I just got to I show up, I solve problems because I just have so much experience. It's all about my mind in real estate. Here, it's all like, they're both stressful, but this is just because it's so technical. Everything has to be perfect. This has to sound right. This has to be fully accurately programmed with the ISO, the aperture, like, you know what I'm saying? It's just so much mental space that they both take. But I'm more fulfilled after solving a big problem in real estate than I'm solving a big problem here. So I hired someone to take over. But
yes,
yeah, that's the plan. So how do you kind of stay motivated? Because I know sometimes there's times you just don't want to do anything, but you don't have a choice. How do you keep yourself motivated?
That's a good question. You know, I just asked someone this a couple of days ago. I just have to remember the reason why I'm doing this to begin with and like what does this do for me? You know, at the end of the day. So just always got to go back to your big why. Okay. Whatever your big why is. Okay. You know, that's really how I stay motivated because it's sometimes can be very stressful dealing with these clients and other agents and stuff, you know?
Yeah, it's overwhelming with all the different personalities. Yeah, but all right, so you're very big on open houses. I imagine you had to go through a bunch of different marketing strategies and tactics before you got there, or did you just go straight to open houses?
You know, I did the Zillow thing for a while and I loved it. People talk crap about it, but like I was converting their leads at a high level, you know, so I loved it. That's why I started the team the first time. I'm like, oh, let's just scale this. It's like my other businesses, like buy leads, hire people, have the people close the leads to get paid.
Yeah. Did you start with one zip code or multiple?
I'm a psycho. I love analytics. So like I built out a spreadsheet.
Yeah.
And I looked at what are the return rates for each one, like, because it gives you some numbers, but then I really calculated it. So I realized that in order for you to be successful in Zillow, you need to own at least 30 to 40% of a zip code. And then I looked to see like how much it's going to cost per lead, what percentage I can get, how many am I going to really get. And I just went from there. So like the zip codes I got were not next to each other. So I started with a bunch of zip codes. And that's when I realized like, nah, it's better to have all my money in one zip code. So I dominated. And when people are looking at that area, they keep on seeing my face, you know, versus randomly popping up, you know? So the goal is to be ideally 100%, because at that time there was 3 agents on Zillow per zip code.
Yeah.
that were shown to the clients, to the consumer at the end of the day. So if you got 100%, then that means anytime they refresh the page, they're going to see your face.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
that is exactly why Zillow worked for you and it doesn't work for other people, because you took the extra steps to research and look into it. Most other agents, they just heard whatever the call center person told them and said, let's do it. You know, so that's where they get set up for failure. You went into it with a plan, and each lead came in with purpose. It's like, okay, this is all part of the plan. I know exactly what to do here. So I think that's where Zillow goes wrong for people.
I've had dealt with leads, so I know speed to lead was important. So like I would call them, or like when I would get a live transfer in, like no matter what I was doing, I would answer it. Like I could be in bed sleeping, and I see that call, I'm like, I would do it with my eyes closed, you know, like it's happening.
And he would just pass it on to. My
goal at that time, it was just me, but then I tried to pass it on to my agents, and they didn't convert them at the same rate I did.
I had that realization, but also I kind of put it on myself for, I guess I could have trained better. How did you overcome that part?
Oh no, it always starts with the leader. I didn't train. I'm like, here, just do this.
Yeah, call them.
Just do them.
Sell them the house. Go. Yeah.
No, it's not the same. It's not people don't think the same way you do.
How did you figure out the best route to train your team?
I didn't. I just got rid of everyone after the year.
I can do this by myself.
Yeah, I'm like, I gotta do this by myself and make more money with less headaches and not have to worry about this.
Right.
Because I lost some money that year because I was spending like $5,000 a month just on Zillow.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you know, I can just do this myself. Like, let's get rid of everyone. It's not worth it.
I get that.
So I was a single agent for many years after that, for like 4 years.
How far back? When did you start this Aponte group?
I mean, I've been to the Aponte group since day one because I knew I would eventually have a team.
Yeah.
You know, so like that was part of the vision.
I get that.
So I just always branded myself as that from literally day one.
From Miami Beach.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Okay. You do you vision board? Like how do you dream? How do you goal set?
You know,
is this too personal?
No, I could do better. Honestly, I vision board for like 2 years, but I'm like, I don't really, not for me. My coaches will tell you like, there's anything that I want to do, I will do as soon as I decide I want to actually do it. I mean, it sounds funny, like not to be cocky or arrogant, but like I can do anything that I want to do.
I feel that way.
So like, I just need to decide that I want to actually do something.
Yes.
You know, like if I decide it, then I'm going to do it at a really high level. It's just the hard part is me actually deciding that I want to do it, making that decision.
Yeah.
I'm going to do it. They tell me all the time, I'm not like any of their other clients, you know, because they can't give me things that'll pain me or pain points or whatnot. I'm like, it doesn't do anything to me. Like, so their approach with me is different than all of their other clients because I just figure stuff out and like stuff like comes naturally to me. Relationships, building stuff, figuring out solutions to problems, like just thinking outside the box. It's just,
you're in the right place as a leader.
I could be a better leader for sure. It's for sure.
What do you think will make you a better leader? Like being out more, being more on the scene? Because you go places. You're out the country all the time.
It's like knowing how to like talk to your people and like motivate them and get them figure out what they want. You know?
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of things to being a leader. I'm still working. I'm on the journey right now.
I'm figuring myself out as well. That it's a never ending journey. I get that. Yeah.
That's my biggest opportunity for the year is being a better leader.
I get that. Okay, so when you do open houses, like what makes them so exciting for you? Is it that you just good at getting a good turnout, or you? You
know, I wouldn't say I'm super excited about them. I just know that there's a good source of business because I love stats. I think over 80% of people will hire the first agent that they meet or speak with, and over 50% of open house guests are unrepresented.
That's true. That makes sense.
So like literally when I did the math, it's over 50%, over 60% of people will hire you if you're the first person they meet at an open house because they're not represented. So that's why I like to do open houses. Like people are in my face, like we're face to face, belly to belly, you know? Yeah. I perform better that way versus like on the phone. It's like you're not really getting a lot of rejection at an open house either. It's not like calling FSBOs or expireds and stuff and like people are mean and hanging up on you. But you can do great there too. I have friends that kill it in both of those, but like it's just not for me. I'd rather just meet
initially face to face.
Happier people, yeah.
I get that. It's like a warm lead kind of.
Absolutely. Now it's my job to build a rapport and show my value to them to get them to want to work with me.
Okay, so
like when I walk into the open house, it's like I have a different personality. It's like, all right,
Yeah.
Showtime.
You're
Let's
social
go.
today. It's social, Darnell. I get
Let's
that.
do this.
It's Darnizzle.
Sure, we're there.
Yeah.
We're there to work. Like, but then, like, literally, it's like, 3:00 already. Okay.
Do you do like snacks and all that, or you
I
just
used to. My first open houses, my first year in, like I would do all types of crap. I would get like pub sub platters and cookie platters, and I would have 2 like water pitchers and stuff, and one of them like I would put like lemons or limes in and stuff
fancy.
or oranges, and then I would have another one outside where I would do like pink lemonade or something. We'll chop like all the stuff up and like have chips and you name it. But then like now you have to clean up after yourself.
They don't eat it.
Sometimes they do, or if they do, like they're making a mess, or the kids have chocolate chip or Cheeto fingers on the walls. And so I stopped. So like I used to do that, and I would put like music outside and inside. Like it was a whole setup. But I stopped because I stopped seeing value in that. At most today, I'll have like bottled water. That's it.
Yeah, because you get thirsty.
Yeah,
you get
I
thirsty.
get to drink it too. But usually now I don't do any of that stuff anymore. I just do like heavier in the marketing, like 20, 30 signs minimum. If the
20, 30 signs?
It's minimum if the city allows it. Every city has.
How far are you putting these signs?
I'll put like 2 or 3 like close to each other because you need to give people time to turn.
Oh,
okay. So like I learned that if people are driving too fast, like which everyone does, like they're not gonna make a U-turn.
So you do boom, boom, boom.
So yes, I give them enough time to see it, so that way they can get into the right lane, so they can turn.
Just the little things.
I'm not just putting it like on the corner. Like I see a lot of agents do that. Like by the time they see it, they're not gonna slow down and stop.
Okay, drop like. I don't want to say like your 5, but a couple of your favorite open house tips. Cause I know you got the open house masterclass, so we ain't gonna give them everything, but drop some.
Just a bunch of signs, honestly. Like if your city doesn't have any ordinances on that, like make sure just be excessive with that. Like be ridiculous.
Yeah.
With your signs, like 20, 30, 40, 50 signs.
Okay.
Like just put them all out there.
These aren't metal signs. You can get a little the cheap ones, the little cheap open house.
They're branded signs now, but they used to be like regular. I would have to go to 4 or 5 Home Depots and Lowe's and Walmarts to get them because they'll be like 5 here, 7 there,
Real quick, my first open house, let me just tell you real quick, it was very cheap because when I started real estate, I was flat broke. I had to figure it out. So I just bought like a big white blank board and like some letter stickers, and I stickered out open house and then put it right in front of this $350,000 2-story listing, and that's my story. Sorry.
Nice. No, thank goodness I had some money before real estate.
Yeah.
Like I wasn't stressed if I sold anything.
I was stressed out.
Yeah, I bet. No, you just buy the signs. They're like $5 each. But literally my first year, I realized like I can't be buying all these damn signs and going to Home Depot. So like I looked at the back of the sign and there was a little name on there. It said Hillman Sign Co. And I called Hillman and they're like, oh, we only sell direct to like stores and stuff. I'm like, what about online stores? So like, yeah, that works. So I created an account with them and a bogus website. I'm like, this is it. Yeah. And then I got wholesale prices. I was getting signs for like $3. Okay. And I'd buy like 200 at a time.
I saw you had a marketing company. Did you tie that into that by chance?
I don't know what company I gave them, but I'm like, hey, I'm going to sell these. I think,
hold on. I wrote your marketing company had an interesting name.
Orange Apple Media.
There we go. I tried to start a marketing company. Me and my friends are going to call it Content Fellas.
Nice.
Yeah, it was catchy. But
so I just ordered my signs wholesale, man. And then I started to sell them to agents in my office. I'm like,
brilliant.
Yeah,
you're the sign guy.
Yeah, and I also
and now you building trust with these agents in your office.
Also like I always had signs, and I would get like the big yellow ones because they stood out and they were taller than the little skinny white and red ones. So like those were like I would use the yellow and black ones, because you can get those in the store. So like I know like if anyone else out there was using this because they stole it from me.
Good to know. What's your open house sign-in sheet like? I had one.
Sign-in sheet. We don't use paper.
You don't use paper? No. So what, you have a QR code? How's
That's
it?
Ghetto.
You don't sign them in?
Ghetto. I do.
You don't sign them in?
I don't use paper.
What?
From day 2, not day 1, day 2, I've used the tablet.
So you just go around the tablet like, hey,
I bought a tablet stand for it. And I would have to bring that with me.
I didn't even think of that.
It's big and retarded.
Bro,
I can't say that word. It's big and it's big and silly. This big tablet stand, but like it locked in. Like so someone can't.
Like they came in. It's like a stand.
Yeah, it's a stand.
Can you put a flyer on top of it?
It had a thing underneath it with a rail that you could put a flyer in.
That's cool.
That's when I used to print flyers. I was on paper. Now I don't. because it's a waste.
As a business.
Yeah, and it's not good for the environment. It's waste for business. But now
People throw them away.
Yeah, now it's an opportunity for me to say, "Oh, do you have a flyer? Yeah, I can email you the digital one or text you it. So make sure I get the right.
That makes
info.
perfect sense.
You know, or as soon as you sign in, you're gonna get the email with the flyer and all the proper.
It's like a
info.
confirmation email
Yeah,
type.
automatically. It's all automated.
You gotta tell me how you do that later.
It's really easy.
Oh, tell me now.
Jotform. You
Jot-
can use
I know
anything.
Jotform. I use Jotform.
Yeah, so you can have it set up so as soon as they enter the info, it automatically either brings them to a new web page. That web page should be that property listing on your website. So that way they're on your website. You're not sending them to like Zillow or MLS. Or you can have email them a PDF like Jotform. You can do a lot with Jotform.
Okay.
I like it a lot more than Google Forms.
Yeah.
And that's really it. I just use that, or I just have the link ready saved for the property. I can just text them the link. But in order for them to receive it, they need to give me the correct contact information, right?
Right.
So that's that. Just ask a lot of questions to these people. I generally never ask them if they have an agent. Like, that's not a question that I ask.
They have to, like, they would just kind of.
Well, because most of the time they're going to say they do have an agent, even when they don't.
Right. Oh, because they don't want you to talk to them.
Yeah, they don't want to be bothered. They
I
don't
get
want to
that.
feel like they're being sold to. So I never ask them that question.
Okay. Like, if they bring it up, then it's like, oh, you have an agent?
At one point, I will eventually ask, or before we go see properties, like, I'm assuming you're not working with an agent, right?
Yeah.
And then at that point, if they have one, they'll tell me. But if you ask them up front,
Mm-hmm.
they're gonna say, yeah. Like when you're in the department store looking for something, you can be lost. But a sales associate walks up to you, they're like, "Hey, how are you? Can I help you find something?" You're like,
Yeah.
"No,
I'm
Like,
good."
I'm
honestly, I never trust them.
never."
I could be looking for something and I don't find it, and they ask you for help. I'm good.
I'm still gonna say no, I'm okay, thank you though.
I'll be scared they're gonna tell me they don't sell it, and then I'm gonna leave. So even when they say we don't have it, I keep looking.
Yeah, so that's just human nature.
Yeah. Okay. Good. That
The
makes
only
you feel
time I
better.
ask them people questions like that is when I want the answer to be no, and I frame the question in a certain way. That,
I even asked, like they said they ain't got it. I get that. It opens the door.
So like one way, an example to sidetrack off of open houses, like sometimes you want the answer to be no. No is safe for us, right?
Yeah.
No
I'd
is
rather
very
not.
safe. So like a question I ask all the time, I have like an over 90% response rate. I usually do it the last quarter of the year. Is you use it anytime, but if a lead is not responding to you or a client or whoever it is, and they've been MIA or ghosted you,
Mm-hmm.
I say, hey, Khalid,
Mm-hmm.
long time no speak. Have you given up on your goal of home ownership for 2024?
Mm. Yeah, it's
And
offensive.
No one wants to be a loser.
Yeah, I still want to do it.
Or a quitter.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
no is the safe answer for them, right?
Right.
No,
Yeah.
Whereas if I would have said, hey, are you still looking to buy a home in 2024?
Mm-hmm.
I will get very few responses.
Smart. Do you manually follow up or do you use the CRM?
Both.
Oh, what's Follow Up Boss?
Follow Boss.
Everyone uses Follow Up Boss. That's
I mean, I noticed all the teams doing $100 million a year in sales are using Follow Up Boss. So I'm like, they're onto something.
I had a trial. I couldn't figure it out. I suck at new technology.
You have to spend a lot of time building it out.
Clearly, I don't have the time.
And I hired somebody also in the beginning to help build certain things out.
That's the missing piece. That's smart. I don't have the time to figure. That's the problem. I'll get some new service and I don't have the time to figure it out. So I just give up.
I hired somebody to help me with that.
Brilliant.
Like I still have to build stuff out myself. I'm constantly changing things, and adding templates and doing stuff for tracking and whatnot. I integrated with YLopo a couple months ago. It's great because it has like a smart AI in there.
Mm-hmm.
Like it texts my leads and texts people for me and stuff. And like sometimes
from the commercial conference.
I don't know
that thing. Oh
no, different one. YLopo. So like I'll get like messages all the time, like every day, like hey, this person viewed this, or Raya is the name of the AI assistant. So like they're having a conversation. They said that we told them that. You'll call them. They'll hear from the agents. Like I'll go in and like it's had a whole conversation with people.
Yeah,
like all I have to do is call them. Like, hey, you're speaking to my assistant. Like, no, it's an AI.
That's cool. Yeah, I wanted to get that from. I forgot what it was called from the commercial, but whatever it is,
that one was cool too. Where it recorded your conversations.
Yeah, because I'll be trying to grab this, but when I try to do it, my daughter grabs a pencil and just starts fighting me, and it's too much. It's too much. Okay, so you do a lot of referrals. How did you get into that and figure out that is like a source to drill into?
It's like my third year in real estate.
Yeah.
Maybe at this point. And I discovered the referral game.
Mm-hmm.
There was a group within Keller Williams, or a bunch of Keller Williams agents. It wasn't like an official Keller Williams group. It was called the BRN, the Black Referral Network. And then there was a couple other groups at the time. They weren't as big then, like 5 years ago. and I realized like there's referral opportunities. So I started like putting my name in, and I got one. And then I realized like the Black community wants to stick together.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started getting a lot of referrals from there.
Yeah.
I was upset that my coworkers, my office neighbors didn't tell me about it, but now I know why, because like it's competition.
Yeah.
You know,
I get that. You want to be the guy to get
I
the
dominate
leads.
that group now for South Florida.
That's good. Yeah.
But then I started the Hispanic Referral Network because I'm half.
You're both.
Immediately,
You
I'm
fit
like,
both, yeah.
I'm like, there's a need for that too.
Brilliant,
you know, so then I have like one of
brilliant.
the largest Hispanic, referral groups.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I don't speak like fluent Spanish, well, like I'm like, there's a need for it. Let me create it.
Yeah.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
So just participating in the group and providing value to other people. You know, how can I provide value to my friends in this state or that state? So my goal is always to connect people, even when I'm not going to get paid. Most of the time I'm not getting paid. I'm just doing it just to connect people in hopes that I take care of them enough that they feel obligated to repay me somehow, and they stay on the lookout for opportunities for me.
That's my motto, yeah. Just do kind and do good things, and people will feel like, you know what, he helped me so much.
Yeah.
Let me throw him a little deal.
And then going and meeting people at conferences and events, so any opportunity to travel, I take.
Yeah.
You know, so like it definitely costs money, and you need to have leverage to help you on the ground to like show your client stuff, because the day you leave that's when the cash buyers in town and people want to see stuff, and so you need to have help on the ground. You don't need a team for that. Like you can just have agents that you have great relationships with that'll do stuff for you either for free, but usually you have to pay them something, either a percentage or a flat fee.
Yeah.
But it's still worth it. So just making relationships everywhere. Just having relationships, positive relationships, and provide value.
I haven't had business cards in like a year. Do you do the business cards?
I don't really use business card.
How do you connect with people on the go? I'm an Instagram person.
I get their info versus them giving them mine. You know, it's the classic line, I just gave out my last card.
Yeah, that's what I did.
What's your info?
Yeah.
I never believe people when they tell me that.
Okay,
it took me a while to realize
me.
that's a game. Like, no, you didn't just give out your last card.
It out.
How come I keep on meeting people that just gave out their last card?
Man, I'm busy.
No, because you don't want to give someone your card, because now you're hoping and waiting for them to reach out to you. I'd rather control the communication.
So you just plug them into your CRM.
Yeah, hey, what's your phone number? What's your email? I'll send you my contact now. Now, again, like I'd rather collect it than give it out. Now I have their info. Now I can control when I reach out to them.
So you have do you have a category in your CRM for realtors, like other realtors?
Yes, I have stages, categories. I have them broken down to in-state, out-of-state, like local or non-local, you know, because I work with a lot of local realtors.
Yeah.
Just so you know, I like to tag and every lead every which way possible, so I can search for stuff. Like if I meet someone at open house in Coral Springs, like I'll have it tag Coral Springs with a type of property. So then, like if I get a new listing in Coral Springs, I'll just search, okay, Coral Springs and buyer. Like, all right, let's email all these people. You know, they were interested in buying a house in Coral Springs at one point, or in a certain neighborhood. Or when I get sign calls, I immediately put them in the CRM, and I put what house they're calling for, and like what zip code and what city. So that way it's searchable later.
That makes sense. There's a lot. So you really like verse into this.
Yeah, it's not rocket science. It's the easiest business I've ever done in my life.
Yeah, I mean, really, it's all about showing up, using your expertise to solve problems. But I guess the hardest part would be like trying to figure out the whole team management thing. That's the biggest thing I'm trying to figure out and overcome. So here's where I kind of like hurt myself. When I first got my team, I sacrificed all deals. It was like my team will do deals. So every single deal I had, I didn't do anything myself. I would just
you still need to be. You're still the main producer until a certain point.
That's what I'm trying to figure out now. Yeah.
So then your job is to like get people up to where they need to be at the end of the day, but like you still need to produce somewhat.
Yeah.
Like, the first thing I did was give away like 90% of my buyers.
You
know, so,
and it cost me a lot of clients.
Yeah, no, you have to stay on top of them. Like, you have to make sure, like, especially in the beginning, like I make people go through, like, they have to be a showing agent first. You know, so, like you're getting X% of the deal. Your job is just to show, but like you're involved in everything. You're learning. Then you get your own clients, but like we're working like 50-50. Like you have to be competent in all communication. Like that's my model. You need to have like a 30, 60, 90-day plan for everybody too.
That makes sense.
Learn, like you have to train them.
Yeah, I start with rentals, then you get a buyer, then you get a listing.
I tell my team honestly not to do rentals. I'm like refer those out to somebody else.
I just so you can like get the feeling of showing, and I get that. It's not.
I don't do that. It takes more time.
It does. It takes a lot of time.
The contract is 18 pages versus 13 pages for a sale.
It is.
We have to collect documents and stuff where we don't have to do that on a sale. Then we have to do 2 contracts. We have to do contract to lease and the lease agreement. And
Because it's all about identifying what's worth the time.
It's not worth
and
it.
what's-
It's not worth my
that.
dollar per hour.
I get
My
that.
time is-
That brings me.
My time is worth way too much. I
Yeah.
would rather sit on my couch with my dogs and my cat than do something.
I get that. So that brings me to our next thing. I remember one time you said, whenever like there's someone wants to see something far, it's a far away deal, you'll calculate how much time it's going to take you to drive there and do it, and then you make it into a price per hour. How do you determine if, you know what, I will consider making that drive less calculated or just refer it out? Like if it's in Tampa.
I'm gonna never refer. Oh, Tampa. I mean, our MLS doesn't cover that, so we're not gonna be able to properly service the client anyways,
Right.
and send them emails and stuff like that. I'm gonna refer out all day.
Okay.
You know, that's too far.
Mhm.
But like a Homestead deal, a St. Lucie deal, you know, like I'll still take those, but like I'm probably not gonna service it myself. I either have someone on my team
Mhm.
do it that's willing to drive that far, or I'll just partner with an agent that just does the showings. And they get a percentage for that, you know.
Mhm.
Listings are the easiest. Like listings, I'll go there if I have to. Like I'll take a listing in Port St. Lucie. It's 2 hours away almost. But
Yeah.
I only have to go for the listing and maybe for the photos. You
Yeah.
know?
I think my
like,
second listing was in Port St. Lucie.
if I have to go twice, if I have to go 4 times even, that's 8 hours. You know, let's say 2 hours of negotiations and paperwork, about 10 hours. It's a $400,000 listing at 3%. That's $12,000, and I have to put 10 hours into this, 12 hours into this. It's $1,000 an hour.
Yeah.
You know, where
It's
else
worth
can
it.
you make $1,000 per hour?
Very few places.
You know, so I'm
Okay.
like, all right, that one's worth it. You know,
I'll do
but
it. I'll go. Yeah.
$120,000 deal up there, I'd be like, you know, I'm gonna refer that out. You know, like
Yeah.
not worth it. You
Okay.
know, the time, the ROI is not there for that. You know, I'm gonna refer that out. Like even if I have someone that has to go show the house for me 20 times at $30 a pop,
Mhm.
you know, it's still worth the $600 that I paid them because I don't have to be there. I'm still making $1,000 an hour, $800, $1,200 an hour.
I get that. So how do you keep track of all the stuff you have to do? Just do you have a to-do list or just CRM?
You know, I don't have a to-do list. I just wake up and I'm like, okay, what do we have to do? But like everything's in the calendar usually.
Calendar. Okay, boom. All right, hold on.
You know, if it's not on the calendar, it doesn't exist.
I've learned that.
Yes.
I've learned that. All right, that's cool.
Does not exist. And then I usually try not to take any like admin related calls until like 10, 11, 12 o'clock,
Mhm.
you know, because there's no emergencies in real estate, you know, like usually things don't have to be resolved immediately.
Yeah.
Especially if a deal's under contract, there's other people involved, listing agent, buyer's agent. Hopefully you have a transaction coordinator. Hopefully the other side has a transaction coordinator.
Mhm.
There's a title company, there's a lender. So there's so many other people. So like it doesn't need to be answered right away.
I get that.
Most of the time. It's very rare where there's an emergency. If there's truly an emergency, I'm probably not the person you should be calling. You know, like probably call 911. Like there's nothing I can help you with
Yeah.
right now. Like,
Honestly, I be thinking that when my phone blows up
Nah,
sometimes, but I
things
try
can
to get them all. I try to like.
yeah, I want to. Things to wait, you know, but like we have other things we need to do first, like getting new business into the pipeline.
Yeah.
That's our
Do you have a
number one
structure
job.
for that? Like, so for me, like I try to in the morning first thing, make sure I'm doing something marketing related to get new business in. Like, how do you? Is it just all day?
You know, I have a company now that I've been working with for like 3 or 4 months
Mhm.
where they do all my social media marketing.
That's
like,
cool.
I just film the videos and they tell me what to say. Like
That's brilliant.
I film it and they edit it and they post it. There's some other things I do on my own,
Mhm.
and I have one of my VAs edit it for me. But like I don't know any of my editing, so like I outsource that. Like that's not what I'm good at. It's not what I want to do.
Yeah.
Anything that I can pay someone to do for less than I make per hour, then I have them do it.
It's worth it.
It's called leverage. Like I'm not gonna clean my car myself. I'm not gonna do my laundry myself. Like
How much time you could do that? You could do something else with that time.
yeah, you know
Yeah.
that'll have a better return.
Okay.
You know, like I'm not gonna clean my house myself. Like when I have a cleaning person
I get
and
that.
do that. So like once you start getting busy, then you realize like, hey, it's not worth it for me to do that. Like it's not an income producing activity.
Okay.
So now I don't have a set structure. Every day I've been doing for about a month and a half now where we do prospecting for 2 hours, script practice for like a half an hour, 45 minutes, and prospecting for 2 hours.
Like on the phone.
Some on the phone, but a lot of it on through social media, messaging, text messaging,
Okay.
phone calls. Yeah.
Yeah, that's smart.
That comes first. So then I do admin stuff after that.
Okay.
Because if I work on admin stuff, then you're gonna go up and down, right? And
Yeah.
have peaks and valleys because we're not getting new business in because we're servicing the current business.
Yeah.
I want to have consistent closings every month.
That's what I'm trying to build up to now that I'm back. Like
you can't do those little tasks. You know,
No,
you have somebody else.
I have to. It's brain space because that's the thing. The biggest stressful time for me is when I have to do something for the studio and something for real estate at the same time. So I just had a revelation with myself, like, why? Why am I split into two? Just have someone in charge of this. So I have a full manager, so my brain space is just reserved for real estate stuff.
That's good.
Yeah, I'm just very focused. That's why I keep saying it. It's just very like instilled in my head because it's a new thought process. But I appreciate you coming in, man. Thank you so much. I'm trying to think if it's anything else. Is it okay? I have a random question. This is very random. What car did you have before the X6?
I still have it. It's a Toyota Highlander.
That's an SUV?
Yeah.
Okay. Were you always an SUV? I'm an SUV guy.
No, these were my first 2 SUVs. I've always been like a coupe sedan type of guy. But I got the Toyota 2 months after I got into real estate because I'm like, hey, I'm gonna have to drive clients around and like have people in my car. So like, let's get this SUV with the 3rd row. And then I realized like, hey, you don't put clients in your car. That's a liability.
Oh my God. I tried it. Never again.
No. When the clients don't have a car or they're like relocation clients from another area, like I'll just hire a driver because it
like
is
an Uber Black. No,
it's cheaper. You just find private drivers. They pay like $35-$40 an hour.
Oh, cool.
And that way you can actually talk to your clients and stuff. You can do stuff. You can.
Oh, you're in the car too.
Yeah, I'm in the car with them.
Oh, like $1 million listing. That's cool.
I guess.
You ain't see $1 million listing? They like, come on. You.
But like, they're not even $1 million listings when they do that, honestly.
Really?
Like,
so you give the $1 million listing experience to everybody?
No, not to
coming
everybody.
in town.
Like if they don't have a car, like most people will get a car, but there's some people like they're staying in downtown or like they plan on staying at the Airbnb or hotel and not
honestly,
like leaving the resort.
Downtown showings are horrible driving yourself. It is so worth having a driver. The valets in and out.
Yeah, so usually I volunteer for those when it's like condos or I'm looking for condos. Like I'm like, we'll pick you up, and I'll either have someone drive my car. I've done that a few times.
Okay, that's smart. That's
even
really
even if they have a car, like I usually still have someone drive my car because I'm like, by the time you valet or find parking and stuff. But usually I hire a driver because I'll spend like less than $200, and then
the valets will add up.
You're like, the valets will add up, and then as a courtesy, I pay for the client's valet too. You know, because you're getting your cars together.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, I'll pay. That's just what I do for like $200. Like you're a rock star. You can have your laptop or tablet open. You can talk to them, build a relationship with them versus trying to drive and see where you're going.
It's so stressful.
And there's traffic and
it's
like
so stressful.
know about the property and your phone's ringing, right? And
that's how you do showings in Miami.
So that's what I do for that. And then I
normally
always will bring a little cooler, like a little small cooler bag with.
I'm so glad we're having this talk.
I have 4 drinks in there usually at a minimum.
That's enough. I usually stop at the gas station. Like, you thirsty? I'm gonna stop and get a Gatorade.
No, I have them in there because I don't need time.
You do this.
You don't have time to
do you do
sidetrack.
this or not? Yeah, you don't.
I do this. So I'll have a Coke, Diet Coke.
Everyone loves. Wow.
Diet, because a lot of people that are like, oh, I'm on a diet.
Is it water Gatorade?
Sometimes there's a Gatorade.
Okay.
There's always flat water and a Perrier or Pellegrino. Perrier.
Okay, that's cool.
And then I'll usually get some little snacks too, you know, just in case they need a little sugar rush, you know, they need something because like we don't have time to like stop and get a meal when I have a day, 4 or 5, 3 couple hours planned of showings, you know, in different buildings. So like I'll have like a trail mix, like nuts, like some goldfish or Cheez-Its and a granola bar.
No snacks.
Or 2.
Go upstairs, you snacking. Okay.
You know, and that way we don't have to stop. The only time we have to stop is like there's a bathroom break, but most of the time they can do it in the building if they have to. You know?
And in turn, I'm sure you get a lot of referrals from the clients.
They love it. They love that shit. They're like,
genius.
Wow,
that's what it's all about.
No one's ever done this for me.
They never expected that treatment buying any house.
They're like, I'm only buying a $600,000 condo. This is great.
Yeah.
You know, like it's.
That's cool.
But really to make my life easier.
That's cool. Okay. What is there a book that you're a book guy because I've been to your house and you have a huge bookshelf. You have this huge
bookshelf. It's not that big.
It's like wall to wall. It's wall to wall.
I like books. I could read some more for sure.
Okay, so
I go through phases where I'll read a bunch of books really quickly and then I won't read anything for months.
Do you remember what the first book that really like you were like, okay, I'm a reader. I care about books was?
No, but the first business book I read that changed my life, and I don't agree with it today these days, is the Robert Kiyosaki book.
Rich Dad Poor Dad?
Yes. Somebody gave it to me like when I was 16 years old. I'm like, wow, this is incredible. So maybe that's what helped me focus.
Yeah, it does. But you don't agree with like, do you not use that method anymore? Like,
not so much because Robert Kiyosaki is kind of a nut job these days. Like he's always talks about the real estate market crashing on the U.S. economy, and he's
Yeah.
been saying it for years, and it's like it hasn't
You
turned
just
out
keep
that way.
waiting.
But yeah,
Keep
I mean,
waiting.
eventually you'll be right, you
Yeah.
know. But like, not every year. So like, I just would like the things he says these days. But like,
Okay,
that was a classic book.
I get that. Have you tried like velocity bacon or any like other methods of?
No, my favorite book, I've been preaching it for the past 6 months now, since August, is Exactly What to Say by
Yeah.
Phil M. Jones.
Yeah.
Obviously, Never Split the Difference by Chris Voss, is a hostage negotiator. Negotiate like FBI hostage negotiator. So it's like negotiate like your life depends on it.
Yeah.
It's like some of the things I said earlier I got from that book. Like you need to get people to say no. No is a comfortable
It's important to read like
response, a safe response.
sociology, whatever books on the mind. Because I read a Verbal Judo, also from a hostage negotiator.
Nice.
Very good, and it really helped me in my career.
You gotta say people's names a lot.
In this,
Just when you're talking to people, like you gotta say their names a
oh
lot.
yeah, it makes them
Especially in
I like
that-
to show people that I know their name. Yeah,
Say it a lot.
That's my thing.
I'm reading a book right now. I put it down though on how to do a TED Talk.
Talk Like Ted.
It's called.
Talk Like Ted. I read that book. Talk Like Ted. It very much helped me.
The guy analyzed like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of TED Talks.
Yeah.
And like watch each
18
one
minutes.
at least 3 times and like look for different things each time he watched it. Like
And then I started
how
watching
many
TED
times-
Talks.
How many times people laughed and stuff and like
Yeah.
he really went in. Like he figured out the science of it.
Yeah.
And like how the 2 types of ways people start their stories, like with it's clearly defined in the beginning, or at the end, that's when they bring it all together. I gotta finish that one. That one was very
You'll like it.
powerful.
It's definitely worth it. Okay. And then last topic. We both got studios. You got the loft studio, very nice. And your
Yeah.
loft I hope you put together.
Thanks.
How's it going? Like, do you get annoyed having a full production studio in your house, or like is it like it's
No,
cool?
not at all. Honestly, I don't use it as much these days.
I don't use this. I'm rarely
because I'm
here.
like I'm in my damn house. Like so, like my new office now. One of the reasons I moved there is because they have like a studio, so they have 3 different backdrops in there, like
yeah.
a green wall. They have like a black and white wall with quotes, and they have like another wall with like looks homey with a shelf on it, and like
Oh,
you
that's
can add
cool.
your own stuff and the desk. So
Yeah.
I use that office.
Is that
more
where you're
to-
making your reels?
most of them? No.
Those are nice. I like that. I like the little
When I
grass
do like
background.
podcasts and stuff on other people's, normally I do them from home. I do those for my home office because I can ensure like it's quiet and no one's gonna burst in the door and like a high speed internet connection.
Yeah.
But that's really the only time I record at home. I just spent so much time building it out. I'm like, I don't know why. I should film more
I
of that.
do that. When you have an idea, you go all in. Like if I'm gonna record home, I might as well have
I went all in,
I
man.
got all this space. Nah, I'm the same way. If you're gonna do it, you gonna do it. Are we here or not?
Yeah,
That's my
I
motto.
finally got my last credit for my Sigma lens like 2 days ago because I'm like, Amazon, you're gonna give me credit for one. Where's
Yeah.
my other credit?
Oh, you switched it out. You
I
switched
got
it.
rid of all the cameras. I got rid
Really?
of everything. The only thing I still have left are my 2 Fire mics.
These things?
Yeah,
Okay.
I got.
Well, you got the bigger one.
the
Yeah.
DP7.
Yeah.
I have 2 of those now.
That's
Do
just
I?
worth it. You never know when you're gonna
I
need
have one
that.
of those, and I don't know. I got to see which other one I have. I think I have 2 of those.
You never
And
know.
then also, like, even if I ever do anything at home, I still have those. You know, at the end of the day,
You should get a Pelican case and just pack it so you could.
That was,
You taking it to Dubai?
I'm not going to Dubai
You're
anymore.
not going to Dubai?
But that was my plan originally, was to have like a mobile podcast studio because I'm always around like
It's a lot of stuff.
really crazy, like high value people.
Yeah.
Like,
But you got this thing, which is probably better.
I would rather get 2 of those, honestly.
Yeah. And just get some good lapel mics and
There's a mic that comes with it.
you did it.
It's fire, like the quality on there.
Yeah. I learned that. I got rid of a lot of equipment. Like I had a whole bunch of stuff at home. I just got rid of all of it. I only need, if I really want to record, I'll just show up here. Put them busy. Let's do
The
it.
Pocket 3 is incredible.
That's a Pocket 3?
Yeah.
Put an Amazon link in the bio for the Pocket 3. Amazon link for the Pocket 3.
The creator combo kit.
Gotta love it. Gotta love
It's
it.
great. Well, thank you for having me today.
No, of course. How do people reach you? How do people find you?
You can find me on Instagram, Darnizzle, Darnizzle.
And I love it.
That's
That's
the best
catchy.
way to get a hold of me.
Yeah. Oh, last question. Did you go to culinary school? Like, cause you be cooking. I be seeing you on
I did
Instagram.
not. I just enjoy cooking.
You been doing it. Do you watch Food Network? How did you?
When
did you transition?
When I was younger, I used to watch like PBS and
Yeah.
see Julia Childs and Jacques Pepin, and then
Yeah.
like the early days of the Food Network starting with Emerald and Bobby
Oh, yeah, I
Flay
love
and all
Emerald.
those guys,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
And so I just would always try to make stuff, and like just that was cool. I used to want to be a chef until I got to like high school,
Yeah.
and then I heard how much money they make and how hard they need to work. I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, not for me.
Yeah.
I don't like it that much.
I understand.
You
I
know?
I sucked at cooking. I could like survive, but when I started watching Master Chef while I cooked,
Yeah.
it was a change.
This one goes out to my brother because
Okay.
he's a trained chef. He went to the Culinary Institute of America. He always likes to talk crap because he says that I'm the YouTube chef because that's where I learn stuff sometimes. But like I'm a better cook than he is. You know,
Yeah.
he is literally a classically trained chef.
What's your favorite YouTube cooking channel? Mine is Almazar's Kitchen with the knife. You seen that?
I don't really watch a lot of videos these days. Like honestly, like we consume so much stuff on our phones, just like on Instagram and
that's
stuff.
true. That's true.
On the Instagrams. But I used to love there used to be a sous vide everything channel. And then and that same guy has another channel, Guga Foods.
Okay.
He's a South Floridian guy.
these.
He has he's like I don't know, I think he's Brazilian or something. He has like an accent, but like he was like one of the first people that were making videos on like how to use a sous vide machine and whatnot.
What is that?
It's like a precision cooking tool. Like you ever see people put stuff in a vacuum seal bag and then it's like in hot water.
Okay.
So there's some like machine that has like it just moves the water around.
Oh, like a
convection. Yeah, and it's water, but it moves the water around and it heats it to a precise temperature.
A conduction cooker.
So you cook food at a precise temperature. It used to be like only available to like professional chefs, and like it was really expensive and stuff way back when.
Yeah,
like it's like a French technique, but like now everyone uses it. You know, like you get them for like $100 these days, like a basic one.
Times have changed.
Yeah, for sure. So like now they're home friendly, but now like you can cook stuff at a certain temperature, you know, where you can't do on the stove. You know, like you can cook stuff like I've done fish in there, like I've done a whole brisket.
You have one. You have this.
Yeah.
Oh, you serious? Okay.
I have all types of stuff, all types of gadgets.
What kind of knife set you use?
I don't have a knife set.
You just use one good knife? Like you have knife?
I have multiple knives. I forget the brand that I have now. Like I bought a block. It was kind of expensive,
I threw my block away.
But I have, I
threw my block away.
Yeah, and now I just use one most of the time for most things, and it's like I don't even know what brand it is, or like a Japanese style brand.
That's what I want. I want one of the big Almazar's, whatever. I want a big foreign knife so I can be in the kitchen like,
but you need different knives for different things.
Yeah.
You know? Like one knife is not enough.
Yeah.
You know, you need a paring knife, you need like a flexible boning knife, fillet knife, like you need.
I like to try to cook new things and do things
cleaver.
I haven't done. You got a cleaver?
Yeah, for certain things. Like I get through bones and stuff.
I just bought my first wok like a couple months ago. Yeah, I'm getting there.
I just got a new wok 2 weeks ago.
Nice.
So I was excited.
You know how to do this?
No, I'm not that cool.
I can't do that yet. I try.
I want a gas stove so I can do cool stuff like that.
Yeah. All right. We got an hour. We're not gonna push this. Okay. This was great. I appreciate you. You want to learn more about Darnell? Follow Darnell on Instagram. I'm Cleet Explains It All, and I'll see you in the next one.